Hello, today's lesson is 7.2 out of our book, and we're multiplying fractions times fractions. It's really going to be a continuation of what we learned last week. We still have the same saying, multiplying fractions, it's no problem. It's the top times the top and the bottom times the bottom. But now we don't have a whole number to convert. We just have a fraction and another fraction. Again, we are not looking for common denominators. Not looking for common denominators. So let's keep that in mind. I want you to write that on your notes. Top times top, bottom times bottom. And then put a big asterisk or something to say no common denominators needed. So for example here, 1/3 times 7/8. I want you to do this problem right in your notes along with me. So we're going to take the top times the top. 1 times 7 equals 7. Bottom times bottom. 3 times 8 is 24. 7 and 24, they don't have any factors in common. 7 can only be divided by 7 in itself. That doesn't work with 24. So we're done. Absolutely nothing left to do. Now sometimes we're going to have bigger numbers like this. 12 times 3 I know is 36, but I'm not sure what 29 times 4 is. So I might have to go over here on the side and do something like this. 9 times 4 is 36. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3 is 11. So 36 over 116. Oof, now I've got to simplify it. Well, I guess I know they're both even, so I can divide them both by 2. See where that gets me. 36 divided by 2 gets me to 18. And 116, well, I know half of 100 is 50. Half of 16 is 8, so I guess that would be 58. Well, I can divide it by 2 again. They're both even. So let's see. I'm going to erase this just so I have some room here. 18 divided by 2 is 9. 58 divided by 2, well, half of 50 is 25. Half of 8 is 4, so 29. Well, I at least remember from way back in the beginning when we did that factor game that 29 was the biggest prime number that we had on that board. So that's not going to work with 9. This is as far as I go. Whew, that was a lot of work in there. Some big numbers to have to use. But no matter what, this would always work. I know I can always fall back on this, that top times top equals top, bottom times bottom equals bottom, and then go through and simplify. Let's keep moving. 4 times 3. I want you to try this one on your own. I'll give you a minute to do it, and you can move down to this next one as well. So I hope when you did this, you got 12 50ths, which can be reduced to 6 25ths, and that's as low as we can go here. Here, when we do this, we get 14. What's 7 times 9? 63. Ooh, I can reduce this, and it gets me right back down to 2/9 when I divide both of these by 7. So 2/9. All right, well, we're trucking along. We're doing quite well here. There is a shortcut that we're going to learn. You need to know you can do top times top, bottom times bottom all the time. But sometimes when we're way back here, for example, on this, we got some pretty big numbers to work with, and I was definitely reducing. I want to use this shortcut. What I'm going to be doing is looking for compatible numbers between the top row and the bottom row. Ones that have the same factors to begin with before I multiply things out. I'm calling this simplify before I multiply. The key to this is to always have one of your numbers has to come from the top, one has to come from the bottom. So let's try it out. What we mean by this is I have 5 and 12 are on my top row, 8 and 15 are on my bottom row. Is there one of the numbers? So if I'm going to take 5, does 8 or 15 work well with 5, being that I can reduce them? Yeah. I'm going to take 5 and divide it by 5. I'm going to take 15 and divide it by 5. When I do that, I'm going to replace this with a 3, replace this with a 1. So now I'm down to 1/8 times 12 over 3. Is there anything else I can do? Remember, 1 has to come from the top row, 1 from the bottom. Well, I know that these two, I can both divide them both by 4. So when I divide this by 4, I replace it with a 2. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So now I'm down to 1/2 times 3 over 3. Is there anything else common between the top and the bottom? Well, yeah, I got the same number here. I can divide both of these by 3, and what do I get? I'm going to replace that with a 1, replace that with a 1. So now I have 1/2 times 1 over 1. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 1 is 2. 1/2 is my answer. I did all of my reducing ahead of time when my numbers were small, rather than having to take 5 times 12 and getting a large number and 8 times 15 and getting a large number. You can do it when they're still small and maybe the connections are easier to see. So let's try it again. What do I have in common here? Well, I can divide this by 7. 7 divided by 7 is 1. This one, when I divide it by 7, I get 3. Anything else? Do I have anything else in common? Well, if nothing else, I know both these are even, so let's divide them by 2. I'm going to replace this with a 3 because I'm dividing by 2. I'll put that there. And when I divide this by 2, I get 14. So it's kind of messy. I'm going to rewrite it. I got a 3 over a 1 times a 3 over a 14. Ooh, I have 2 3's. Can I divide both of these? No, I can't. I hope you said no. And the reason is they're both on the top row. Remember, I have to have 1 from the top and 1 from the bottom. So does 14 work with a 3? That's my only option on the top. No, it doesn't. So I'm just going to go straight across the top to get 9. 3 times 3 is 9. 1 times 14 is 14. There's no more simplifying to do because I did it before I multiplied. And that's it. 9/14 is my answer. Ooh, what happens when I have 3 fractions in a row? Remember, with multiplying, we don't have to stick to just 2 numbers at a time. We can do multiple numbers. And we're still going to do the same thing here. What we're going to do, though, is we just take one at a time, top and bottom, looking for ones that work together. And right away, I know that 4 and 16 work really well together. So I'm going to divide this by 4, and I get 1. I divide this by 4, and I get 4, because 4 times 4 is 16. So now I'm looking for any other common things here. I know 3 and 12 work together. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 12 divided by 3 is 4. If I keep going, I've got a 4 and a 4. Divide them both by 4, and I get 1. Divided by 4, and I get 1. So if I clean this up, I've got a 1 over a 1 times a 5 over a 1 times a 1 over a 21. Well, 5 and 21 don't work, and the rest are 1, so I'm just going to multiply straight across. 1 times 5 times 1 gives me 5. 1 times 1 times 21 is 21. There's my simplified answer, 5 over 21. Now you try this one on your own. I'll give you a minute to go ahead and do it. I hope that you realized we could divide this by 25 to get 1, this by 25 to get 4. Now you might not recognize anything in 112, so let's start with 2's. We know that they're both even, so half of this is 6, half of this is 56. Again, I've got even numbers, so I'm going to bring that down to a 3. And this is going to go to a 28. Well, I know 4 and 28, both of those are divisible by 4. So that becomes a 1. This becomes a 7. So my final answer is 3 times 1 is 3. 1 times 7 is 7. 3/7 should have been your answer. All right, I got one left for you to... Oh, I lied. That's it. there's no more to do. We're going to get plenty of practice on this week, so if this is a little confusing for you, you can always multiply it out and simplify at the end. But this is just a shortcut so you have smaller numbers to work with rather than bigger numbers. So with that, I will see you in class tomorrow. Have a great night.